Tonight, we learn more about the young Regina woman killed while waiting for the bus. The trial for the accused in the death of Misha Pavelick gets underway. And students in a Saskatchewan First Nation get an education in canning.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Monday, October 20th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. The family of a young woman struck and killed by a freight truck while waiting at a Regina bus stop last week says she dreamed of becoming a surgeon. 19-year-old Marvelous Aguchuku came to Regina from Nigeria with her older sister Miracle. Katie Swires has their story.
You know, this minute it feels like I'm okay. Then the next minute it feels like I'm gone.
For Miracle Aguchuku, the death of her little sister Marvelous still does not feel real. The pair came to Regina from Nigeria as international students. The sisters shared not only a home together, but both worked in the same restaurant.
We do literally everything together. So why will I believe it that easily that she's gone?
Last week, Marvelous was waiting for the bus at this stop on Dudney Avenue on her way to work to help pay for next semester's tuition. Suddenly, a truck careened off the road and smashed through the bus shelter. It did not stop until several houses down.
She was not just my sister, but my best friend.
Regina police have not announced any charges against the driver. Miracle says police took her phone number but never called, and she says she still hasn't been able to see her sister's body despite asking. With her parents back home in Nigeria, Miracle says she felt responsible for Marvelous.
The only thing I did was to take care of her for 2 years as her elder sister, which sometimes I blame myself because if I sensed something like this was going to happen, she wouldn't have left the house at that point.
On Sunday night, dozens of community members gathered to remember the young woman who dreamed of helping others and who loved K-pop music. In a statement, Regina police say the investigation is complex and ongoing. It says victim services will be contacting the family to provide further supports. Miracle says she still has questions about what happened.
I just want justice for my sister.
The whole Aguchuku family is still waiting for the answers. Katie Swires, CBC News, Regina.
The trial for a man accused of killing 20-year-old Nikira Brown has begun. Brown was found dead in a Saskatoon apartment in November of 2022. Andrew Rosenfeld was charged with second-degree murder in the case. The 27-year-old's trial got underway at Court of King's Bench on Monday. Court is expecting to hear from a Crown witness who had been in jail with Rosenfeld. A court document says Rosenfeld told that witness that he shot Brown and then tried to make it look like a suicide. However, the first officer on scene told the court that Rosenfeld told him the woman was shot during a home invasion. Nearly 2 decades after the death of Misha Pavelick, the trial for the man accused of killing him has begun. Pavelick was killed at a campground near Regina Beach over the May long weekend in 2006. Aaliyah Marco Omene has more.
What started as a graduation celebration for grade 12 Miller students ended in tragedy in the early hours of May 22nd. A fight broke out and 19-year-old Pavelick was fatally stabbed. Police interviewed more than 200 witnesses, but were unable to lay charges. But police say in 2021, new information prompted them to return to Regina Beach to conduct another evidence search. Police arrested the accused 2 years later. The 36-year-old accused is charged with second-degree murder. He pleaded not guilty on Monday. He was only 17 at the time, so his identity is protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. The accused had been released on bail while awaiting this trial, but he was taken back into custody for breaching release conditions and assaulting a peace officer. He's been in custody ever since. 130 people arrived at the Delta Hotel Monday morning for jury selection. Judge Catherine Dawson says her biggest concern is choosing people who don't have a connection to the 19-year-old case. 50 people were called on by the judge. 16 of them were sworn in for the 4-week trial. Dawson says that number will be reduced to 12 for deliberation. Crown attorney Adam Breckner says there won't be any question about how Pavelick died, but who's responsible. He expects to prove the accused is that person by the end of the trial. He also plans to seek an adult sentence if he is found guilty. Aliyah Marco Omene, CBC News, Regina.
A brand new provincial ballistics laboratory is officially open in Saskatoon. The $3.5 million lab will help police better investigate firearms-related crimes. It has advanced technology, including controlled testing environments like a water tank and cotton box. There's also a comparison microscope and detailed analysis equipment. Police say the new lab is a game changer.
This means a lot to law enforcement. There's two things. We talk about accountability and we talk about being efficient as a police service. The lab will help us hold people that choose to use guns in our community for intimidation, for threats, and for killing. Make sure that that accountability component is at the highest level.
Until now, the ballistics lab was temporarily located at the Saskatoon Police Service headquarters. When it's fully functional, it will conduct firearms testing for all law enforcement agencies in the province. There will also be much more capacity for testing and fewer delays in courtrooms as well. The provincial NDP have released a 5-point plan to try and solve Saskatchewan's ongoing addictions crisis. The opposition says it would choose to fund harm reduction services, something the provincial government backed away from last year. The party's critic for mental health and addictions says the province's current plan is not working.
Why are we seeing people dying every single day? Why are people falling through the cracks? So what we're saying, we're putting pressure. We want to put pressure, and we want the citizens in this province to put pressure on the government to do better.
One notable inclusion in the NDP's plan is the acknowledgement that involuntary treatment remains an option, but that it should only be used as a last resort and only when someone's addictions pose a serious threat to themselves or the public. In response, the provincial government thanked the NDP for finally reviewing and supporting its action plan for mental health and addictions. The federal Liberal government says it is moving ahead with an old promise to create a new financial crimes agency targeting online scams. It's the latest announcement leading up to Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget that's expected to have a significant deficit. And as Ashley Burke reports, the opposition is already pushing back and putting forward its own demands.
We're starting the week strong,
To promote his upcoming budget, the finance minister vowing to crack down on fraudsters, giving an old Liberal promise new life.
This is going to be Canada's lead enforcement agency for combating financial crimes.
The new agency would focus on money laundering, organized crime, and online scams. A 2021 election promise revived.
What's taking so long?
Well, I'm taking that over now, so it's going to happen. That's the reality.
Ahead of next month's budget, the Liberals have made a series of spending announcements.
To get tough on bail.
But they say the Prime Minister's first budget will focus on austerity too.
We're going to spend less, we're going to invest more.
Will they cap their inflationary deficits?
But to support the budget, the Conservatives have demands, including a deficit no bigger than $42 billion.
They can call it the government spending, government investment, the fluffy kitten fund. The result is the same. It comes out of the pockets of hard-working Canadians.
Deficit estimates vary. The latest from the C.D. Howe Institute suggesting it could be as high as $100 billion.
A large deficit number indicates that we can look forward to paying higher taxes, for every dollar of services we get from the federal government. And that's a recipe, among other things, for a cranky electorate.
The Bloc Québécois and NDP have a list of requests, too.
There's one thing that we control at the Bloc Québécois, and we control what we ask for.
We communicated very clearly that we would not be able to support a budget that takes an austerity approach.
The Prime Minister's cabinet has been asked to find what's being called ambitious savings, and we could see the first sign of those cuts in the budget on November 4th. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Some Regina teens have put the finishing touches on a new mural near downtown. It's located at the Salvation Army's men's shelter on 12th Avenue. The project was a collaboration between mural artist Jada Delorme and Better Bus Youth, an advocacy group that believes transit should be free for those 18 and under. The mural also highlights the need to advance sustainability and climate action plans in Regina. Well, Saskatchewan's university football teams keep winning. The U of S Huskies went on the road this weekend and rolled over the UBC Thunderbirds 24-10. The win keeps them in the top spot in Canada West, and they'll finish the regular season this Saturday as they host Manitoba. The U of R Rams were on the road but needed some last-minute heroics to win. Ty Gorniak kicked the game-winning field goal with less than a minute left in the game to seal the 22-20 victory. That win ensures the Rams of a home playoff game in 2 weeks. They will finish the regular season at home on Friday at 1 o'clock. Stay with us. We have more news and a look at the forecast for you after the break. Welcome back. A Warman man is using his personal experience to help make the world more accessible to others. Nicholas Vogan was in a car crash that left him with dexterity challenges. Now he's using a 3D printer to create tools to bring some of his independence back.
Basically, I have a 3D printer. It has 2 extrusion heads and has an AMS. It's a very, very capable printer, and it lets me design and create everything I would want to create. I got my injury in around 2019, 2020. I spent a very long time in rehab and in the hospital for a good year. I don't remember much from that time. After all the therapies and whatnot, I came back to trying to live with a significant disability of limited use of my right side. And one thing I'm really interested in is using a computer, because I'm a nerd. I really like computers. Computers are interesting. Just because things are designed for the able-bodied, they're designed with that in mind, doesn't mean that those tasks couldn't be designed with you in mind, whatever that is, whether you're paraplegic or missing an arm, things like that.
Do you remember the first thing you made with it, the first assisted tool?
So the first assistive tool, yes, I still have it. It is a nail clippers. But I was having to ask others to assist me in cutting my nails. And that independence piece is important, and it wasn't that I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it without this specific thing. And getting that specific thing was great because it increased my independence and didn't have me asking, hey, can you do this? It was able to do it 100% on my own, which was empowering. These things are card holders, and I have actually someone requested some of these. Their son, I believe, has cerebral palsy. He's unable to hide his cards from his friends when they're playing. So they want something like this where you can design to have the cards so you can see and hide them from his friends and be able, so he can play cards too, despite his cerebral palsy. I have more desire to work on things than I have things to work on. So I'm looking to reach out to people. I'm looking for people to reach out to me, and I will work with you.
Some great ingenuity there from Nicholas. Boy, was it ever a really messy, miserable fall day for many of us across the province. The cloud cover, the rain, the cool temperatures, and yes, of course, the biggest thing for a lot of us, the wind. We'll take a look now at just how gusty things got across the province. I've just highlighted a few numbers for us here. Estevan, as of about the supper hour Monday, the highest wind gust that you recorded, up to 85 kilometers an hour. That's just shy of the 90 kilometers an hour that's needed to trigger a wind warning. So we didn't quite get there. Regina and Moose Jaw right around that 70 kilometer an hour mark in terms of our gusts. Sustained winds, though, closer to 60 kilometers an hour. You know, 60 kilometers an hour is already pretty breezy when we're talking about gusts, let alone sustained winds. That same system picking up those winds, also bringing us some moisture through parts of south and central Saskatchewan. A little bit of rain through the Regina area. That has changed over to some flurries in eastern sections. The bulk of that moisture, though, now kind of shifting into Manitoba. It didn't help that, of course, we were on the chilly side for many of us. Low to mid-single digits. 5 degrees is the best we got in Regina. We did manage a 10 in Estevan. Saskatoon kind of in between there at 7 degrees. The good news is this system is on its way out, and a ridge of high pressure will start building in as we go overnight into Tuesday. That doesn't last long, though. I think Tuesday afternoon, we'll see a mostly cloudy day for many locations through the province. Some snow and some rain for the north. For south and central, I think this will probably be just marginal accumulation in terms of rainfall, but it'll keep us cloudy except for western sections. As we get into the afternoon, we will get some clearing skies as the cold front starts to move out. Then more substantial sunshine for Wednesday and Thursday. Our next weather maker that we're keeping an eye on could be a little bit of some rain skirting through the northern grain belt as we get into Thursday afternoon. We will, though, have to watch for some fog developing in the overnight hours as we go Monday into Tuesday. Again, around Regina and eastern sections of south and central. Could be seeing some low visibility as you start your commute for Tuesday morning. The good news, though, as that fog starts to burn off and as we get into the afternoon, we'll be treated to a day with much less windy conditions for actually the next couple of days here, looks like, for the most part. So otherwise, Regina, I think, will stay mostly cloudy. I haven't really put a chance of moisture for us here, but we could maybe see a sprinkle or two into the afternoon. But things really clearing out, as you can see, for Wednesday and Thursday. Not only that, really warming up as well. Aside from a bit of a breezier day on Thursday, once we get through that, especially the first part of the weekend for Saturday, looking absolutely gorgeous as our temperatures get up into the mid-teens. And then we slide a little bit closer to seasonal as we get into the back half of the weekend and the first part of next week. And that'll be the same story for Saskatoon as well, where we'll see a daytime high of 9 degrees for Tuesday. Keep in mind, I think we'll see that sunshine poke out in the afternoon. It'll stay that way for the next few days until we see a drop down closer to seasonal as well for Sunday and Monday, with a chance of some showers Monday as well. And things will be breezy as well. Look at those overnight lows staying above the freezing mark by and large. Well, students at Ocean Man First Nation are learning the skill of canning food through a practical applied arts class. It's being offered to grades 7 through 9, and as Louise Big Eagle reports, the kids say they are happy to eat the work they do in the classroom.
These students are learning the skills of canning just as generations before them.
It's good, and it's like really spicy because they added 1 jalapeno and 3 habaneros and 3 Thai chili thingies.
Grade 7, 8, and 9 students at Ocean Man Education Center are learning how to preserve food as part of their practical applied arts course. Lexis Bigstone takes charge when it comes to getting things done in the class. She was the first to start cutting the onions. She takes a class with her twin sisters.
It actually teaches us how to can for when we're older, and we can just make our own homemade things and we don't have to go to the store.
She said her parents were happy to hear she is learning about canning in school.
They thought it was really good because they said I will be able to do that when I'm older and be able to do that to my kids and grandchildren, teach them how to make it.
Teacher Stephanie Damon says she started the canning class after the students took interest in canned goods she made. So she donated vegetables from her garden to start the program last month.
And I'm just showing them that they can make their own pickles. They can make their own pickled carrots if they like it. And just preserving food for the winter so you're not having to buy from the store. And also understanding what's all in it, and it's a little bit healthier for them because they know exactly they put all the ingredients in themselves, and there's no added preservatives.
The students like it because it's hands-on and they get to eat their work.
I love the because you can teach anybody what you pass it on.
Louise Beagle, CBC News, Ocean Man First Nation.
Looks tasty. Some young dancers in Saskatchewan are getting a big opportunity. These performers will take to the stage in the Royal Winnipeg Ballet's performance of the Nutcracker in November. The shows will be in both Regina and Saskatoon, and they'll get to perform as party children, mice, and even angels as well. Sounds exciting. Congratulations to them. Stay with us. We have more news for you and a final look at the forecast after the break. In France, dozens of investigators are racing to find the thieves behind a daring robbery at the Louvre. Police say the heist took only minutes on Sunday morning. French officials say the jewelry is priceless and has immense historical value. Many of the pieces are encrusted with diamonds, sapphires, emeralds, and pearls. Some are gifts Napoleon gave to his wife in the 1800s. Authorities say if not recovered soon, the artifacts will likely be cut up and sold outside the country. While through south and central Saskatchewan, we'll continue to see the winds thankfully die down overnight, but we are looking at the possibility of some fog developing, especially for Regina and eastern sections. Right around that freezing mark is where most of us will be as the rain and the clouds continue to move out. But the rain and the clouds will start to move in northern Saskatchewan, where we're seeing similar overnight lows, and by early Tuesday morning, we'll already begin to see some rain and maybe some snow in especially far northwestern sections of the province. That shifts into kind of the line from La Ronge up through Stony Rapids by the noon hour, and then moving on into eastern sections by the afternoon. Perhaps, though, some clearing out west as temperatures get near 10 degrees there. For south and central, showers possible in west central areas in the morning. By the noon hour, that possibility extends to, I think, mostly central Saskatchewan, including Saskatoon, but then the skies begin to clear. We get back up into the double digits, and for Regina and eastern sections, I think we are still looking at the possibility of some showers and a mostly cloudy day. Well, we are officially less than 2 weeks away from Halloween, and if you don't have a costume yet, here's your official reminder to get a move on it. Some places have already been transformed into a scene out of The Walking Dead. These are scenes from the 2025 Zombie Walk in Santiago, Chile. Participants transformed the city into a terrifying scene under the motto, "Monsters Gather to Celebrate." This year's parade honored a Chilean horror icon, the sinister Dr. Mortis, a character created in 1945 for a radio drama. Participants also got to compete in a costume contest celebrating the art of imagination and all things spooky. Some very creative work there for sure. And that is our news for this Monday. For more news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/sask or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel. And of course, you can also download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.